Hello darlings, how are you doing today? I hope that you're having a good weekend and that you're nice and chill. So last night was the most incredible blood moon, at the same time the longest lunar eclipse in over 600 years. So I thought today we should talk about the moon specifically and how to utilize and how to use and how to work with the energies of the moon and the magic that comes down from the moon and how we use that. Most of us know about moon water and know how to make it, know how to use it. If you don't know how to use it, what's really nice that I like doing, it's a bit of a cheat. I have a glass bottle and drinking bottle. So I'll fill that up with water and leave it outside over full moon. And then the next morning before the sun rises, I'll go and grab out of the garden. And that water, when you've cooled it down a bit, being here in the southern hemisphere, is very, very hot right now. That water, you cool it a bit, and oh my goodness, it tastes better. I don't know how, I don't know why, but it tastes better. Most witches that I know work with 5 phases of the moon, but apparently there's actually some debate about this because some people say there's only 3. A lot of witches don't recognize the dark moon at all. For them, it's not a phase of the moon. They see it either as a dead phase or a phase where you can't do any magic because there's no energy coming down. Yeah, that doesn't work for me. For me, it's very much a case of there's an emptiness. So at that point, you can banish away the evil. You can banish away any negativity around you because you have this safety buffer of the new moon and the new energies coming in. Talking about new moon, a lot of calendars that I've seen, especially like your very generic kind of calendars or diaries even, they talk about the new moon instead of a dark moon. But for witches, new moon and dark moon are actually 2 completely different things. Dark moon is when you can't see the moon at all. It's completely blacked out by Earth. And then new moon is 1 to 3 days after dark moon, where there's this tiny little sliver of moon that shows. And that is the perfect time to start a really big manifestation spell. So if you've got one that you want some extra oomph in, then I'd suggest working with new moon all the way to full moon to do your manifestations. I also found, and I know a lot of witches who do divination, all the different kinds of divination, runes, tarot cards, scrying, all of these, they do at dark moon because you don't have any interference energy. So you're working with a completely blank slate, if that makes sense. Okay, and then we've got waxing moon. Waxing moon is the period of time from when new moon has started and all the way through to full moon. Waxing, I always remember it, the waxing and the waning. I always remember the waxing as wax on, wax off. Wax on, wax off. So for me, it's easy to remember that the waxing moon is the growing moon. As the moon is waxing, it grows, or it appears to grow. And with that, the energies that we get from the moon and from the world around us as the night sky is being lit up by this ball of beauty, all the energies grow with it, and you can feel it in your bones and in your soul as it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Full moon, in my opinion, full moon, you can do absolutely any magic workings you want because it is perfect. You have this immense energy around you. The whole world is energized. I mean, how many times have you read a story or watched a movie where they talk about being able to do something by the light of the full moon? Because it holds that energy, that simple energy of reflecting the sun and becoming this beacon of light over the world. I mean, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful moment. It's also a great time to charge crystals or jewelry, consecrate your tools, raise energy, And also a very good time for doing initiations, where you have a coven where you do initiations into first, second, third degree, high priestess, arch high priestess. Those are really nicely done at full moon. Opposite of waxing moon, we've got waning moon, where the moon starts getting smaller and smaller and smaller again. As it does this, it's taking that energy away with it. It's bringing you that clean slate of energy so that you can do your banishings, etc. So waning moon is really good to be getting rid of stuff, whether it is bad habits, stress, hexes, spells, bindings. It's a great time to do that. I also find that during waning moon, about a half moon left is a great time for doing cutting cord rituals. So we've all heard of the blue moon, once in a blue moon. If you're a fan of Smurfs, like I am, you know how important the blue moon was in that movie. It's the 13th moon. So what does that mean? The lunar cycle is 28 days long. And in a year, there are 13 of those cycles. So you're going to have 13 full moons, 13 new moons, 13 waxing moons, 13 waning moons. But what this means is that these 13 moons in 12 months, there's going to be a month when there are 2 full moons. That second full moon is called the blue moon. And if you think about once in a blue moon, well, then it's once in a year that can possibly happen. Interesting little fact, during the year 1999, there were 2 blue moons in the sky in that year, and a lot of people believe that was nature's way of preparing for the new millennium to happen. Blue moon is great for doing any magic. Once again, it's full moon, so it's a great time to do any magic anyway. But you might want to save some of your really special magic that you've been planning to do it on the night of a blue moon, just to give it that extra oomph, that extra meaning, that extra energy from having this rare, beautiful full moon in front of you. Blue moon is also known as the wine moon. The name wine moon is used because wine is such a luxurious gift from a deity, so the extra moon is considered a gift moon. Blue moon is also known as the moon of love, goodwill, peace, and protection. Okay, so then we have full moon. Many witches perform full moon ceremony on the night of the astronomical full moon, which is held to be when the moon energy is at its highest potency. I'm definitely an advocate for this. I definitely believe it. If you speak to nurses, doctors, hospital staff, police stations, you'll find that there is a tiny thread of knowledge that on a full moon, they are busier in their ER or at the police station than during the rest of the month. It has been noted, it has been analyzed scientifically, although the variance was so little that they said it was negligible, but there is a fine, thin thread of truth, and I believe it. I really do. I like this. Full moon. It represents the universe in brilliant glory, wholeness, or completeness, and is a wonderful time to work on your own personal spiritual lessons, growth, and enlightenment. Okay, so let's talk about dark moon, or what some people call dead moon. The dark moon rises at sunrise and sets at sunset. What happens if you have a big to-do or a massive party on the night of the full moon, but you still want to charge your crystals? It's generally considered that the day before, the day of, and the day after are still the same phase. I have an app on my phone that the day before full moon, it says it's 99%. The day of full moon is 100%. And the day after is 99%. I'm pretty sure that 99% is close enough to 100% to be able to do your workings. Again, this is a great time to do divination, vision quests, deep meditations. It's also a time for rest. It is a time when the energies are low, so you can actually rest, clear your body of some energies, get rid of some negative energies, and start off, as I said before, with a blank slate. So what about magic? What is your take on using the word magic, M-A-G-I-C, or M-A-G-I-C-K? Which one do you use and why? Comment down below and let me know. I prefer the one with the K because it takes away from card tricks. Most modern magical writers, such as Aleister Crowley onwards, have affirmed that the primary purpose of magic is to change the practitioner rather than the external world. I think that's beautiful because you can change yourself. You can't change what somebody thinks of you, or you can't change what somebody's belief in religion is, but you can change yourself to be accepting of those differences that you have. And once you've accepted those, it will seem to you that that person is a nice person, because you're not constantly going to be judging every single word that comes out of their mouth. For instance, if I had to go to lunch with a very Christian friend, I wouldn't be sitting there thinking, oh, you're so stupid. How could you possibly believe in one man and the Holy Trinity and one God and. But at the same time, if I become accepting of that and I understand that, look, they have their beliefs and those beliefs work for them. They do. That person is happy in their beliefs. Who am I to judge? Who am I to judge? And once I've gotten to that point, I will be able to say, okay, that's cool. Let's be friends. And I'm not going to judge them because I know that that is what makes them happy. So I have made the change within myself and not a change of the external. I have not gone and changed her religion or her view on religion. I have accepted her for who she is. One of the big things for me with my husband was we were having this quite a deep conversation just after we got together. And he said to me, look, you're a woman. I can't understand anything about you. And I was like, that's a nasty thing to say. And he said, but I do accept you for the way you are. He doesn't have to understand what's going on in my head. Half the time, I don't understand what's going on in my head. But I know he accepts it. He accepts that that is me and that is how I am and who I am. And he's okay with that. And that, to me, is so special. By the way, he's an atheist. Oh, like seriously. So there are two definitions that I want to touch on very briefly, because this is starting to get now into some hectic space. Where did I write this down? The right-hand path has been defined as becoming one with the divine, so dissolving the ego, whereas the left-hand path has been defined as turning oneself into a deity, i.e. Buddhism. These two definitions go a long way to explaining what makes paganism different from other religions. Magic and ritual certainly work to transform the psyche of the practitioner. Tried and tested techniques of initiation, meditation, visualization, and working with archetypes do seem to have a beneficial effect. So does magic then, okay, so if we're going to concentrate on changing ourselves instead of changing the external, that which we cannot really touch and that which we shouldn't touch, especially if you're a Wicca student, you will not want to touch anything in the external because 3 by 3. Does magic have an effect on the external world? Everyone has an anecdote where they did a healing and the recipient felt better, or they did a working for a job and got the job. But these are anecdotal evidence, and there's no way to prove that the ill person wouldn't have gotten better anyway, or the job seeker wouldn't have got the job anyway. However, even if these workings have no effect on external events, they make the participants in the healing or the spell feel better because they have done something to help. I believe very much that our rituals are basically prayers. So instead of just going on our knees and praying and being humble, we will light a candle, we will call in the quarters energies, we will call in the goddess, we will call in the god energies, specific gods or specific goddesses that we want to work with, we'll call in. We'll put down plainly and in simple language what it is we want, and we will then release the elements, release the god and goddess, and open our circle. Yes, I know some of you are going to come at me. That is the way I do it, the order that I do it in. I know that there is probably, for every pagan out there, there's a different way of casting circles and calling in gods and goddesses and calling in quarters and. But once you've done all of that, you let go. So you're basically just adding some more flourish to the prayer, because at the end of the day, it's the same thing. I need this. I want this. And I'm giving it over to the divine. I'm giving it over to Jesus. I'm giving it over to Allah. I'm giving it over to a higher power to please help me take care of this. And whether that higher power to you is simply nature, as is my belief, it is simply nature, it is. And I'm asking for those energies to be focused for just a moment in time on something important to me. And then I release it and I let it go. And I think that is one of the hardest lessons that we have to learn, is to let go. Once again, you cannot change the external all the time, and sometimes you really rather shouldn't. But you can change who you are and who you are inside. Thank you, witches, for listening, and I will chat to you soon. Blessings have been given, blessings have been received. May the love of the Lord and Lady remain forever in our hearts. So may it be. Find somewhere safe and comfortable to sit. Comfy. Make sure you're in a position where you're not going to have a dead leg or something like that when you come back. I want you to close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and out. And in and out. Last one, in and out. In front of you, you see a body of water. What this body is entirely up to you. It could be the sea, it could be a cup, it could be a lake, it could be some place you've seen before, or some place you've never seen, only in your dreams. In front of the body of water are 13 white stones, smooth and round and cool to the touch. We're going to throw these white stones into the water. You pick up a stone and throw it in. 1. Next one, 2. And 3. And 4. And 5. And 6. And 7. And 8. And 9. And 10. And 11. 12. And 13. As you look into the pool of water, whether it's a cup, the ocean, or a lake, someplace you've been before, someplace you've never seen, you're going to notice the reflection of the moon in the body of water. Slowly the reflection of the white, beautiful round moon begins to turn the water to white. When the water is completely white and shiny and clean, You're going to take the water and wash your hands, making sure that you get water over both your hands. You'll notice your hands are all nice and clean. You close your hands together into a ball, and then you open your hands, and inside your hands you find a black rock. It is shiny like obsidian. It sparkles in the light. It's cool to the touch. This rock carries all your worries for the week ahead. It's going to be another week of work, of stress, of family, of friends, of laughter and love, of sadness and anxiety. You're going to breathe all of these things into the rock. You're going to think of something that is going to be a stress for you. For instance, Monday morning, driving to work, or getting a lift to work, or taking the bus to work. These things are stressful, no matter how small they are. I want you to take that stress and blow it out into the black rock. The black rock absorbs your breath and absorbs this problem. I want you to take another breath. Think of something that you have to face this week that you're not looking forward to facing, and breathe it into the rock. Take another thought, another worry, another concern. It can be something big or something as little as, what the hell am I cooking for supper tonight? Breathe it out into the black stone in your hands. You'll notice the stone becomes heavier and heavier with each blow of each worry. Continue breathing out all your worries and concerns into the black rock. When you're done with that, you're going to take the black rock and throw it as far as possible up into the air. The moonlight touches the rock. It shines and the rock disappears. It becomes one with the black night, with the black sky around the moon. It becomes nothing more than the twinkle of a star. When you're done, take a deep breath in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, and out again. I want you to listen to my words. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a deep breath and open your eyes slowly. Blessed be.